I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction. Here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, December the 10th, brought to you in part by VITALIX. Not all tubs are created equal, guys. VITALIX has 44 different tubs to meet your needs, whatever they are for your livestock. They are going to have a special tub giveaway, and they want to make the Feeder Flash gang members aware of it. If you want to know how to register for free tubs of VITALIX, if you're watching this on NationalBeefWire, just click on the VITALIX ad that's right next to this video. If you're watching on YouTube, look down in the descriptions and click on VITALIX there. But get the blue tub. Your cows will love you. For more information, go to vitalix.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma. We had a huge sale there last week. I was helping them out with the special cow sale and things. Sold 8,500 head last week. They're looking for nearly that many this week. Just a huge sale. Jeff Slatton did tell me on Monday, he said, if you will tell people, have them call before they bring cattle, at least this week or until things kind of slow down. They're going to have 7,000 head of feeder cattle in Beaver, Oklahoma on Tuesday, and that is a big run for anywhere, especially for that market. I mean, they've got great facilities there. He's building pens as fast as he can build them, but still that's crowding them up quite a little bit. But for the big sale on Tuesday, regular feeder cattle auction, they're going to have about 7,000 head, 4,500 calves. Most of them be weighing 400 to 600 pounds. 80% of them be weaned. Probably 90% of them had at least one round of shots there. And lots of long strings of calves, 100, 200 more. Big long strings of calves, and quality would be outstanding. They probably got 2,500 yearlings. Be selling them. Be a lot of 7 and 9 weight steers, a lot of 6 to 8 weight yearling heifers. They're thinking they're probably going to have at least 30 straight loads of steers and just about 5 loads of straight loads of heifers there. But if you guys are interested in some loads of yearlings there, they'll have those too. Got a cow sale on Wednesday. It'll be mostly older bred cows and weigh-ups, but they are going to have one consignment of 60 4 to 7 year old good black Angus cows there, and they are heavy bred. Said that they was having to separate pairs off of them as they was loading them to get them to the sale. So they are coming, they are dropping right now. But check out DVAuction.com for the Beaver County Stockyard sales on both Tuesday and Wednesday. You can view and bid right there. Cooler heads, at least to start the week out, you know, and everybody look back at what all happened last week and maybe kind of embarrassed how they let the auctions get them all caught up, and we saw some unbelievable prices, mostly on stocker calves. Of course, we saw all-time record highs on feeder cattle also. Not all weights, not all classes, and not everywhere. But perhaps on stocker cattle we did see it. We've never seen you know, big strings of light calves bringing over $5 a pound, things like that. We're not seeing it so far this week, at least on Monday anyway. Just seems like maybe cooler heads prevailed. Market still outstanding, but it'd be dollars cheaper than last week, and so we're not going to see any of those stick out deals yet. Now maybe as we go through the week and things change, and maybe we get to some more kind of premium type feeder cattle auctions, commercial type auctions, we may see some of those stick out deals. But just saw a real good market on Monday. Of course, like I said, it is lower for the most part, but you know, just looking at some different articles. I'm coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, so not being able to talk to as many people within the industry as I normally do. Kind of leaning on some other outfits to give me help. I was looking at the beef read, which is Cassie Fish, and I try to look at that every day. If you guys like it, it's a emailed out market there. It's got a lot of technical information from Chicago there, and she does a good job. But you know, our cow slaughter is going to be as much as 1 million head shorter this calendar year than it was last calendar year. And despite that, our beef production is up. We've had lighter slaughter, but it's mostly just been cows, not so much fed cattle. and we have been feeding cattle longer, but those weights are so big that we're likely going to have the biggest, largest beef production in 2024, at least the fifth largest that we've ever had, which is kind of surprising as light as our slaughter's been. But like I said, it's mostly been cows because we're pretty much fresh out of slaughter cows. People have really called hard for several years, and the cow market's been good. It's brought a lot of cows to town, but just not sure where a lot more are going to come from. Of course, we get a steady supply coming from your dairies, but that's the only steady supply there. The other ones are just volatile depending on how they're managing their outfit. But we also saw that our box beef cutout values are higher on the average this past year than they've ever been before. Of course, we knew that last calendar year set an all-time record price, but your average box beef cutout values are going to be $7 to $8 higher than they were a year ago. So we continue to see good demand, and things are rolling along pretty good. And we're just extremely tight on our calf crop this year, and we're saying, we've said many times it's the smallest calf crop we've seen in 73 years. So people are going to get excited whenever they're wanting light cattle to turn out on wheat and places like that. And I'm thinking that maybe, I'm not saying that the wheat rush is completely over, but at least this crazy stuff that we saw last week, we're getting late enough in the year now, and it's just a few days later than when they were paying the big prices. But, they've got a storm coming across eastern Colorado right now. And, this as it starts to get a little bit later in the year and we have opportunities for winter storms, that doesn't make it quite as attractive to give these big giant prices for these stocker cattle and turn them out there with most of them not having any windbreak or any facility at all, just a thin electric wire to get behind when the wind starts blowing and the temperatures get down. And it just gets a little bit later and a little bit later, and then pretty soon people thinking, oh shoot, I just might as well cut that for some kind of feed or hay, and not fool with trying to buy these high dollar calves. But if you are looking to change up your genetics a little bit, Charolais is a good option there, because pay weight starts right there with Charolais. And industry acceptance is the biggest thing. If you're wanting to look into changing your genetics a little bit and making some cattle that'll put more pounds on the scales whenever they wean, whenever you sell them, make those big cattle that the industry wants right now. We're not feeding 1,200 pound fat steers anymore. They're 300-400 pounds bigger than that. If you're looking to do that, you need industry acceptance. Charolais has both. So for more information, go to charolaiusa.com. Let's talk about your board. To start the week out on Monday, December live cattle were up 42 cents at 187.80. February was up 85 cents at 187.02. Your back months were all up 27 to 65 cents, following the impressive trade last week on our fat cattle arena. On feeder cattle, January feeder cattle were down just 2 cents at 255.80, and seeming to stay pretty comfortable there, $6, $7, $8 there behind what our cash prices are. March feeder cattle up 52 cents at 255.20. Your back months of feeder cattle were down 2 cents to up 67 cents. The funds are the big long positions there, and in fact, the funds are carrying more longs than they have in years, and there's only been 2 years that they carried a bigger percentage than they are right now. So that makes it a little bit scary, because they could pull the rug at any point. Of course, anybody else could too, but they're more apt to do it. Let's talk about our grains. Corn for March up 1 3/4 cents a bushel at 441 3/4. January beans down 3 3/4 at 9.90. Hard red winter wheat for March was up 5 cents a bushel at 558 3/4. Let's talk about your fat cattle trade from last week, brought to you by Legacy Beef Cooperative, guys. You need to check that out. But your weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle trade in the 5 area totaled 59,000 head. compared to 65,500 the previous week and 55,400 the same week a year ago. Live prices of fat steers and heifers range from 188 to 192. That was steady to $2 higher. Weighted average on live steers 190.90. That was up 93 cents compared to the previous week. Impressive there. Your dressed trade 295 to 306. And that 306 was a real far outlier there. I tell you what, it was a little bit uneven, your trends there. And your weighted average on dressed steers 297.21. That was up 57 cents compared to the previous week's weighted average. As a whole, your Southern Plains sold fat cattle $1 to $2 higher from 190 to 191. Northern Plains sold steady to $2 higher from 190 to 192. And your dress trade was unevenly steady up to $2 higher, mostly at 297 dressed. But nationwide, we sold 75,100 head negotiated compared to 79,800 the previous week and 66,400 the same week a year ago. Of those 75,100 negotiated, 24% or about 18,000 were for the 2 to 4 week delivery. Negotiated grid sales totaled 56,200 head last week. Forward contracts were written on 17,500 head, and formula trade 245,400. Of the 4 out of 5 areas that we get information from in the 5-area feeding region, Iowa outdid themselves again. They sold 25,500 head negotiated cash. They just continue to sell more cattle than typical negotiated cash in Iowa. They've got the goods. Nebraska has been coming up a little bit short, but still selling right in there quite a few, 22,100. Of course, Southern Plains doesn't sell hardly any cattle negotiated cash. Kansas sold 8,800. Texas sold only 2,500 out of the whole Texas Panhandle, western Oklahoma, eastern New Mexico, feedlot area there, and most of those were sold on the Fed Cattle Exchange. Box beef cutout values were higher to start the week out, especially on choice there. Choice cuts up 420 at 312.04. Your selects are actually down 37 cents at 276.73. Slaughter to start the week out on Monday, 119,000, which isn't terrible. It's 2,000 better than last week. It's 6,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Occasionally, Tonto Cassie will get us to draw attention to some listings that he has with Cassie Real Estate there out of Springfield, Missouri. And he deals in some really, really nice properties. And he had 3 particular properties that he wanted us to discuss here and share with you. They are ag properties, guys, specifically cattle there on 2 of them. But one in Fordland, Missouri, which is close right in there to the Springfield area, southwest Missouri. They've got 127 acres that they're going to be selling. It's grass. You run a lot of cattle on there, guys. They've got a 60 by 160 barn there that's part commodity, part shop. That's a dual purpose barn there. They've got 400 feet of bunk space there. They've got nice shades, they've got pens, they've got facilities, they've got everything. They've got a 3-bedroom home on there. You can buy all that for $1.5 million. Might still sound like a lot to you, but if you've been shopping for properties, it's really not that out of hand, guys. Got another property between Pleasant Hope and Bolivar, Missouri. It's a cattle property, or no, it's actually a row crop property, but you can also have cattle on it too. But I've got 192 acres for row crop, guys, and 120 by 120. That is a fancy barn there. Got a center alley feeding barn. Just really, really outstanding. Got a 24,000 bushel bin there with a dryer. You can do a lot of business right there. Multiple facilities all over, not just one set of pens, but multiple set of pens there. I've got a 3-bedroom home there. It's highly fertile ground there, guys, and 192 acres for 1.925 million acres, or $1 million, excuse me. but that's a nice property. Then another one at Flemington, north of Bolivar, there's 140 acre grow yard there. 3,000 foot of bunk space there. They've got big traps, which is easier to straight cattle out there rather than tight pens, but big traps there. They got hydraulic chutes. I mean, all the brand new modern facilities there to straighten cattle up. And it's got a home there with an office for $2.299 million. It's also got additional 387 acres that are available that's adjacent to that. But all these properties are pretty close in proximity. If you wanted to buy a big outfit, run a lot of cattle, grow some feed, grow some hay, be a good opportunity to do that. Get in touch with them there at Cassie Real Estate and ask them for more information about these properties. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction late in the day on Monday sitting at 260.13, down 64 cents. And then the markets were just a little more moderate, to start the week out. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index has got to be a record at 262.25 based on an 800-pound cash steer there. Talk about your big sales on Monday. Of course, your big commodity sales. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma National Stockyards at 13,000. Feeder steers are 3 to 7 lower. Feeder heifers steady to 5 lower. Calves were $10 lower. They could still be awfully high, guys, but $10 lower. But good run there for those guys there at Oklahoma National Stockyards. Joplin Regional Stockyards had 13,500 head. The market reporter at the mid-session thought it was very uneven there, and I'm giving this report a little bit early, going to the National Finals Rodeo later on this evening. But give you some individual quotes from all around. How about Martin, South Dakota? Martin Livestock Auction on Monday sells 80 steers, weight 743 at $289.50. Bowman Livestock Marketing in Bowman, North Dakota. Or maybe that's Montana. It's right on the line up there. 111 steers, weight 516 at $361. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota. DVAuction broadcaster there. They sold 51 steers, weighed 807 pounds for $273. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.